Hello and welcome back, everyone, to The Pulse. You are joined here by the co-founders of PeakBot and my co-host, Ben. Very excited to get into another week of trading. For those of you who are new to the show or new to PeakBot, we are an automated trading platform for the retail trader. We make it easy, affordable, and transparent for the everyday person to put a stock trader in their pocket and start trading hands-free. This is how Wall Street and hedge funds have been doing it for decades. We were sick of watching the little guy, the retail trader, fail. As we all know, 9 out of 10 retail traders fail, which sucks. And we wanted to flip that on its head, and we've been able to do so over the last few years here. What we do on this show is a number of different things. Today, specifically, we're going to take a look at our watch lists for our automated strategies, which we've made some updates to, which we'll continue to make updates to. And by the way, maybe now's a good time to segue into, if you have questions or comments on the new watch list, if you're a subscriber of ours or you've been around for a little while, you'll notice some differences. If you have thoughts on the new watch list, let us know. Anything that you'd like to see, let us know. We love listening to our consumer and our customer to make sure that it is built for you and with you in mind. As always, we're not financial advisors. None of this is going to be financial advice. We will be taking a look at some of our trades from this past week. We'll be doing that tomorrow as well. But yeah, and we're also going to be doing a review of our strategies. Right now on PeakBot, we've automated 3 well-known options selling strategies. They've been around for decades. All we did was tweak them to make sure that they're automated and trading for you. All you got to do is pick the stock from our watch list, and our bots do the rest. So, Ben, I'll kick it over to you. We can get into a couple things. But first, how you doing this morning?
Thanks for asking and not getting right into business there. I thought we were gonna get ready to run. No, this morning's good. I had a wedding over the weekend, so a little bit tired from that, but all good.
Was there any tequila involved?
No, not in this one.
Okay, good. Yeah. Then you're feeling fine.
Yeah, we are good. We are good. And to Dillon's point, guys, hey, be active in the chat, ask questions. I see that we had Paul from YouTube wanting to look at NVIDIA today. We'll get there. Don't think that we forgot about you, Paul. We've got a couple things to cover, and then we can certainly talk about NVIDIA. But I want to pull up my screen right now and look at this watch list. Now, we've been talking about this watch list for the past couple of weeks. Now, what's different between what I'm showing on screen now and what we have been showing is this watch list is now in the web app. So if you are a PeakBot automation subscriber and you're automating your trades with PeakBot, you now have access to the updated watch list directly within your PeakBot subscription. So this is big news because on July 1st, we launched our alerts service, and our alerts clients were able to see this watch list where you can, filter for different fields here. You can download the watch list very easily. That's been available to a lot of people for a while on the alerts platform. And that's what I've got up on screen right now. But now you can access the same watch list and download it on the automations platform. So we will continuously be making this better, bringing improvements to the watch list. And again, you're seeing a lot of red here. We are in the thick of earnings season right now. As we go down, we'll see less red because less premium paid out will make its way towards the bottom of the watch list. Actually, we're still seeing a good amount, honestly. So any of these rows that are highlighted in red, they've got earnings expected to report this week. So we can see that we've got an earnings column here. Just do a quick recap. Anything in green, and we'll get all of this detail into the web app too. But anything in green, this is really just for helping you make your own educated decision on what you want to trade, manually or automated, right? So we've got the stock price, we've got expected value, which we'll talk about another time. We've got POP, which is probability of profit. That's based on the deltas. We've got our expected ROI. So for the amount of money I need to put up, how much am I expected to get back? We've got buffer, which I do like sorting by buffer personally. buffer is simply the distance between where the stock is currently trading, what the stock price is, and strike price that we are expecting to sell here. So there's the buffer, and then there's our budget, which shows our max loss, and essentially how much you need to have in options buying power to execute that trade. And then we've got some premium. So the list default sorts by expected value, and we can see that there's a lot of companies reporting earnings. And that's because, when companies are reporting earnings, there's typically higher implied volatility, higher premiums to be paid out. Or if you're buying on the buy side, higher premiums to pay. So that's going to skew the numbers a little bit. Dillon and I, we personally like to avoid earnings. Now, Dillon, we had Lex on, who's the chief content, chief hub.
Let me pull up the actual title. He runs the hub.
He runs the Tradier hub that we're on right now. He's a big deal at Tradier. He was on our show on Friday. If you weren't around for that, go back on our channel and check it out, because that was an awesome show. So Lex actually likes trading earnings. What were you going to say his title?
Yeah. First of all, he's a senior VP of strategic partnerships at Tradier. Also the chief hub content officer.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah. So we had him on Friday, and he was telling us all of the reasons why he actually likes trading earnings. So interesting show. Go back and listen to that. I think we're going to have another guest here in a couple weeks, Dylan, if not sooner. I think Matt Cashman's coming back on August 4th.
From the OCC.
Yeah. So if anybody, not August 4th, it would be August 5th. I want to say August 5th. So yeah, Matt Cashman, he'll be back. Last time he was here, we talked about, very popular options trading strategies, how people kind of get into options and through the progression of starting out with covered calls. And then you might get into like the buy side, and then you start talking about spreads and then iron condors and getting more and more complex from there. So when he's back, we'll be talking about some more complex options selling strategies, maybe even some options buying strategies. We'll see. We'll see what he's got in store for us. But back to the watch list. I'm going to go here. If you're an alerts subscriber, let me zoom in.
And while you're doing that, alerts, and I'll throw it in the chat. This is a service that we rolled out just a couple weeks ago. So you can go to alerts.usepeakbot.com, and I'll throw it in the chat, and then our guy will, on the ones and twos, Ruben will throw this up on the screen for us. If you didn't want to fully automate your strategies, thank you, Ruben. If you did not want to fully automate your strategies for whatever reason, or you don't have one of the brokers in which we integrate with, of course, Tradier, and we are integrated with a couple other brokers as well, this is here for you. It's a way for you to manually trade these strategies. We'll send you daily alerts. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, so we just covered the green columns here. Now on our automations page, we don't have all of the yellow columns, just because it's not as applicable, because the bot's going to handle this for you. Now, if you are trading manually, these yellow columns are going to be the columns you use for order entry. So in the case of, let's resort this. So I'm looking at Google right now. We'll just go with Google because it's the first one on the list. Alphabet Inc. If we wanted to trade Google, we would look for the what strategy? Oh, we're on the trend spread strategy here. So we're looking for the expiration date for this Friday, which is July 26th. We would be selling the strike price at the 172.5 strike. We'd be buying the 160 strike. So we're essentially creating a $12.50 spread. And then the limit order that we're going to want to set will be right around $2.11. So then when we put that into the big numbers, what it means for us when we trade each spread, we'll get about $211 in premium. And our budget, or our max loss, is going to be about $1,250. So that's how you would kind of interpret that information. But yes, the yellow columns are the columns that you would use for order entry. So if you wanted to get involved in alerts and start trading these strategies manually, because again, maybe you don't quite trust a bot yet. We get it. We're not insulted. We see that quite a bit, but we do want people to be able to trade our strategies still. So if you're not quite at the point of, hey, I want a bot to do this for me, go ahead and check out alerts.usepeakbot.com. Just $5 a week, and you can cancel at any time. You can try it for literally $5. And as you can see, based on the premium earned, that $5 could pay back, tenfold easily each week by trading this. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out, alerts.usepeakbot.com, and you'll have access to this watch list, and we'll be sending out an email every day just to remind you, hey, go check the watch list, place a trade. And then there's, of course, on the dashboard here, I just need to type that in. On the dashboard, we have a trading schedule here. So this is when PeakBot places trades, when our bots place trades, and how we get into positions, how we out of positions, where's our secondary entries, where's our tertiary entries, and so on. So a lot of great information for alert subscribers.
So Ben, a couple things. First off, live edit, as we love to do. I'm annoying with it, but I think just to make sure we're not confusing our consumers here, where it says under strategies, credit spreads, iron condor, wheel, I think under credit spreads, we need to put trend spreads, since that's what the name of the watch list is labeled as. So we'll just make a note of that. Yep. And we're going to get into the strategies here in just a second to talk through, how they work, why we have them set up the way we do, the take profits, as you can see, etc. Additionally, Ben, can you go back to the trend spread watch list? I just wanted to go over just a couple things here. For those, we've got over the weekend, we had a number of different customers reach out with some questions on the watch list. Our old watch list, which is still available for now at usepeakbot.com/watchlist, same data. Okay, this is just a bit more detailed, and we're going to be working on making this a bit more digestible. Ben, if you would scroll over to the strike prices. In our old watch list, we were a bit more straightforward as to what the trend is. We would quite literally just tell you bullish, bearish, or neutral. Please note that for this watch list, to determine what trend we're going for here, and for our automated strategies, which the trend spread is going to trade with the trend, right? So if it's bullish, it's going to sell a put credit spread. Therefore, you're going to see the put strike data, right? And then you can see the blacked out columns are the call strikes. So if you're seeing on this watch list the put strike data, that means it's a bullish trend and we're selling a put credit spread. Ben, scroll down, maybe see if you can find a call somewhere, which, by the way, okay, after last week, obviously the market kind of turned on us a little bit. So anybody who was heavy on puts maybe took a little bit of a beating. But you can see these columns that have the put data blacked out and has the call data in there, that's a bearish trend, and that we're going to be selling a call. Now, Ben, do we have, and if not right now, then we'll be making updates to this. Do we have one that's neutral? Can we find one that's neutral that would be selling an iron
not
condor?
For alerts.
Okay, not for alerts. Got it.
So we opted not to show any neutral for alerts, just because that creates an iron condor that could get confusing between an iron condor on this strategy and the iron condor strategy.
True.
So it's just we're just showing alerts information really for a bullish or a bearish trend.
Gotcha. And then I wanted to ask you, you mentioned the buffer. I think that's a really great tool. Ben, is that your primary thing that you'll sort by?
No, I'll typically, I'll consider buffer heavily. Like if I don't have a buffer of 3% or higher, then unless I really like the trade setup, then I won't take it. I primarily look at EV, expected value.
So
which
good.
No, you go ahead.
Talk to me about what a good, and we might have touched on this last week, but I think, for viewers, it would be helpful to review. What's a good EV? Anything above 0 is in your favor, right?
Exactly. Anything above 0, that's really it. Because the expected value, it's going to change whether, based on the stock price. Like look at Riot here, that's trading at $12, and then Roblox, which is trading at $40.50. right? Both of their EVs are really close to each other. However, the EV is going to be more beneficial for Riot because it's cheaper. It's going to require less capital to get into that trade and then earn that 22 cents over and over and over versus the capital required to earn the 23 cents on Roblox over and over and over. So the EV is where I start. And then what I like to do, again, not financial advice at all, but what I like to do from there is go to the ROI. I like looking for ROI that's right around 10, even higher. We can see Marathon here is at 20 and a half. And then I like looking at buffer. Like I'm looking at Marathon right now.
Dude, I was looking at it yesterday. I was licking my lips. I try to avoid Marathon, but on paper, it looks pretty good. No,
I mean, it's got a huge buffer, 9% buffer. That means we could be 9% wrong on the direction here and still win.
A 9% buffer on a $25 stock is pretty crazy. The one red flag here is that it is a $25 stock with a $2.50 spread. So, that's 10% of the overall stock value, so that it's volatile. As we know, that stock is volatile. But that I was quite literally, I recorded myself updating my portfolio yesterday, which maybe we'll just take a look at later in the show. Some of these ones that normally kill me, the Marathons, the Riots, the Upstarts, all on like Riot right there, Upstarts up there, like they on paper are looking pretty juicy. You scroll by them. I don't know if you're looking for them or not. They're behind our heads right now, but that's okay.
All good.
Yeah. So like Riot, okay. 8.3% ROI. Now the crazy thing about Riot, it has a $3.50 spread and it's a $12 stock. Like that scares the crap out of me. But again, with strategy like trend spread, right? The idea is to avoid the assignment of shares. We're rolling our contracts weekly on the day of expiration. So if you want to collect a nice premium and you think that trend is correct, not a bad play there. But anyway, we don't need to get into all that. But yeah, new watch list. If there's questions, let us know. For all these stocks highlighted in red as Ben covered, you can see the date. A lot of these are reporting earnings on the 26th. What is that, Friday?
Yeah.
So again, depending upon your trading experience and your knowledge of the certain stock and the underlying, we avoid it. As an automated trader, I like to avoid it. When you're selling options on paper, it makes sense to avoid it because your upside is capped and your downside is not. Although we are trading spreads, we have a defined risk, but just doesn't make all that much sense. But if you really know what you're doing, like Lex came on the show and said he loves trading earnings. If you know what you're doing, it's high risk, high reward. When you get higher volatility, yeah, you're rolling the dice a little bit, but if it pays off, it really pays off. But anyway, what else you got, Ben?
Yeah, I was going to say, don't hype up trading earnings too much. Let's take a look at NVIDIA, right? We wanted to take a look at NVIDIA earlier. So this watch list will update when the market opens. So this watch list is actually updating every 5 minutes when the market is open. And then it won't update otherwise, just because pre-market data, after-market data, not the best to use to make decisions off of. Not that yesterday's data is much better, but it's not as skewed as it might be pre-market or after-market. So again, we are working with some data that we had on Friday. When the market opens, this watch list will be updated. I'll be live trading at 2 p.m. today, so the watch list will be updating live as we are trading. But let's take a look at NVIDIA. Currently still in a bullish trend. It looks like we'll be selling the put strikes here. Earnings coming up in August, so we still have got quite a ways away to go. We do have a positive EV. Probability of profit right around 73%, which means the delta that we're looking at is right around 27. Really strong ROI, 4% buffer. I love that. One thing that we do want to consider too when we're looking at the buffer is the just inherent volatility of that particular stock. We know NVIDIA has been skyrocketing over the last year. Insane to see the growth that it's had. Now, on these pullbacks, it's important to look at, okay, how far is the pullback? And then when we're assessing, is that 4% buffer enough? Are the pullbacks, are we expecting a pullback? Do we have a reason to believe there will be a pullback? Will it be 4% or less? These are all things to consider. And then we've got we're creating a $7 spread here. So our budget per spread is $700. So we need to have $700 in option buying power in our account to trade a spread on NVIDIA the way that PeakBot would trade it. But we're going to earn $109 in premium for each spread. So if you got $7,000 and you want it to go all in on NVIDIA here, you could buy 10 or sell 10 spreads and make about $1,000 this week. That's pretty cool. So if we look over at I'm going to pull up my Tradier account. I'm going to go to research.
Yeah, I actually have this chart pulled up. And it was just a thought, Ben. I can go through my thought I think you should go through your thought process as to whether or not you'd maybe take this trade, and then I can do mine. Yours is going to be probably a bit more detailed than mine. But I wanted to know your thoughts on maybe looking at the 3-month chart. I don't know, it's behind our heads right now. Because when we sort our trend, right? When we are determining our trend on our stocks, it's based on the 67-day EMA, which is essentially the 3-month exponential moving average, which on this watch list right now is saying it's bullish, which makes sense. Is what we're looking at. But look at that support line right there, Ben. We're at going all the way back to like beginning of June.
Yeah.
This looks really good right here. Pre-market, it's at about 120. What are your thoughts here looking at this?
Yeah, so I was actually going to call out, I was going to call out this support line at like $118 level. We did dip a little bit below that last week. But as we can see, pre-market here, we're back at 120.55. So in terms of using this watch list to make a decision now, because it says we'd be trading the 113 strike, I'd say that's probably a little bit inaccurate because we're trading at about $2.50 above what the stock price was at when that watch list froze back on Friday. So that's something to consider. So maybe it's not the 113 strike. Maybe we're back. Maybe we're up to the 115 strike. So even that 115 strike spot there, like that's still below this line of support here. Now, again, we've tested that line a couple of times, 1, 2, and now a third time broke down below it just a little bit. So it seems pretty solid in my opinion, but we do see like a downtrend here for the past 10 days or so on NVIDIA. So I would like to see some sort of signal that we're not going to continue that downtrend before, I would want to make a trade. But that's kind of how I would think through it. So yeah, looking at the 3-month is great. I also like looking at the 1 month because when you zoom into the 1 month, much different picture. 3-month, it looks like we're in a pretty bullish trend. But when we're looking at the 1 month, it looks fairly neutral, right? We're bouncing up and down between, and it's actually a pretty wide range for a higher dollar value stock, between 118 and call it 135. So we're bouncing up and down in that like $17 price channel, which is 10% when you think about it. So if we've got, a 10% movement top to bottom over the last month, and our buffer is 4% on the trade that we saw on the watch list, makes me a little bit nervous about it. But again, we're right at the line of support down below. So again, it's up to everybody to make their own decisions. That's just kind of my thought process. And then of course, the technical analysis tool, I'll look at the 1 week here, and it looks like we're still on the buy side, according to this tool. We've got 13 buy signals, 10 neutral, 3 sell signals. anybody that's got a Tradier account, you can just log in and use this. It's actually a trading view gauge that's built in. So yeah, that's my thought process there.
I want to look at one or two more things. What I've been doing, go back down to the technical analysis radar thing. I've been looking at 1 week, and this is just something I'm doing recently. And then I'm looking at the 1 month, right? Because again, for me, with PeakBot, our approach is set it and forget it. I want to know how I'm feeling about this trade this week, but I also want to feel good about letting this go for a couple weeks, a couple months. So,
great point.
And I look at the difference between the 1 week and the 1 month. So you can see even at 1 month, we got 15 buy signals, only 3 sell signals. I feel good about that. Now, with our watch list, as Ben mentioned, that the data is going to update as soon as the market opens at 9:30. Maybe while people are here, maybe worth looking at the options chain, Ben. I'm just curious to know what, we would sell the 30, buy the 10. Let's see what those strikes are right now.
Yeah, I don't know how updated this is going to be, but again, if we're on the bull side, it looks like we're still showing the 113 strike on the sell side, and then it would be the 107 strike on the buy side. So it's a $6 spread now, actually.
Okay.
We're on the watch list. It's showing a $7 spread, but yeah, if you wanted to figure this out on your own, you would just go to the options chain, look at the delta column, find the number that's closest to 0.3, but not higher than. Now I know that's a negative, so it's technically not lower than, but and then we want to do for the bot put, we would want to find the one that's closest to 0.1, but not over it, and that's this strike right here. So that's how you would go about figuring that out yourself. But anyways, Dylan, we're about 30 minutes in right now, and we've got a couple more things to talk about. I'm going to share screen, but Dylan, I'd love if you could cover this update that we've made over the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. So couple things to talk about here. So PeakBot, if you are a subscriber to our automated trading services, we have 3 tiers. And this is how it's been. And I'll talk about the update and what you're seeing now. We have 3 tiers: basic, standard, and pro. Okay. The only difference between our tiers is the number of contracts or the number of spreads that you can trade per stock. Okay. So you've never been limited to the number of stocks that you can trade as long as it's on the watch list. Okay. Where you have been limited is the number of contracts or spreads per stock. And the other thing that you're limited to is, in the past, was you can trade on one bot per subscription. Now, you always had access to all of our strategies, which previously was just the wheel and the iron condor, but you can only use one of them at a time unless you had a secondary subscription. Now, that has changed, okay? So with our new subscription offer, you can now trade all of our bots simultaneously, which has become increasingly more popular and in demand for our traders because we have another strategy that we've introduced, the trend spread strategy, which, to be quite honest, has been, the backbone, at least for me and a lot of our traders over the last few months. And we've updated our Iron Condor strategy. So if in your PeakBot account, you'll see it as Iron Condor 2.0, unless we change that. But I think it still says 2.0. Mm-hmm. So you can now trade all 3 of our strategies simultaneously at the same time on one subscription. Okay, you do not need a secondary subscription. All you need to do is upgrade in your account. All right, so our pricing has shifted just a bit. So it used to be for basic $19 a month. Now it's $29. But again, keep in mind, you were only trading one bot at a time at that $19 a month. Now you're trading all 3 if you want. So technically, on the old version, you'd be paying 19 times 3, so whatever that is, $57. I hope that's not horrible math. Okay, so there is a big cost savings here. So now $29 a month for basic, $59 a month for standard, okay, up from $49, and $99 a month, which is what it was. That price hadn't moved for pro. In fact, any pro subscribers immediately are being granted access to trade all 3 strategies. Nothing you have to do, no upgrade, no nothing like that. You have now you have access to trade all 3 of our strategies. And a couple notes on the bots. The wheel, I like to call it old reliable. Okay, this is our first option selling strategy. been around a long time. I made 32% on the wheel strategy strictly last year. That was before we were even doing spreads on it. I was doing that naked. Thank you, Carvana.
Not
But
literally naked.
yes,
Just want
very
to clarify
that. So, and with the other two bots, Iron Condor, we've made an update to that strategy. Previously, it would only enter trades 1 DTE, okay, 1 day to expiration, but it would only enter trades on Tuesdays and then Thursdays. So you were selling 2 condors a week. Now it is selling a new condor every day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's going to enter a new Iron Condor. So a lot more volume, a lot more opportunity to earn. It's still 1 DTE, so it's going to set to expire the following day. But another major update that we've made is we designed that new 2.0 strategy to avoid assignment. Okay, because when you're trading on the Iron Condor, you're trading previously was just SPY and QQQ. Now we've added some cash settled stocks as well. So SPX, I always suck at this list. Give them the other ones quick.
Well, the cash settler are XSP, SPX, and then we've also added IWM and NDX too. And we've added IWM, the Qs, and I think that's it. There's 6.
Okay. So more opportunities, more stocks that you can trade on the Iron Condor, and it is now going to avoid assignment of shares. So what is happening is when we when we open the contract or the Condor, there is a limit order placed, good to close at 5 cents, right? So which means if that's not hit, okay, if we're not closing that contract on the day of expiration, so the following day at 3:45 p.m., 15 minutes before market closes, it's going to sell a market order and get rid of that for you. Because we don't want to end up in that $1 spread and having you own 100 shares of SPY or 100 short shares of SPY. That's a lot of cash that you would need in your account that's getting locked up. We don't have to worry about that anymore, okay? So that's the big update for Iron Condor. We can talk about trend spread in a second, and the wheel, no updates to that. It's, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that's the new update. You can log into your PeakBot account right at the top of your automated portfolio. You're going to see an upgrade now button. Okay. Get on this. If you didn't want to, you don't have to. Okay. You can be grandfathered in at your current price. But you're only going to be able to trade 1 bot at a time, as it was. So on paper, the reason we did this, there was a lot of individuals who wanted to trade trend spread and Iron Condor, the wheel and Iron Condor, wheel and trend spread, all at the same time. Last note on this, I apologize. I know I'm going a bit long here, but the trend spread and Iron Condor 2.0, these were previously for the last, I don't know, Ben, 3 months, 4 months, have been in a closed beta testing environment. Okay. Yep. Meaning we had, I think at one point, we had almost 100 subscribers in on trend spread in the closed beta. And I forget exactly how many on Iron Condor. I don't think it was that many, but it was maybe 40 or 50.
I think they were I think they were like 60 on the Iron Condor.
So we ran those for a couple months. We had our bumps, we worked things out, but those strategies now are considered in an open beta. Okay. It's still beta. All right. We only calling it that because we're constantly making adjustments, right? The wheel, we've been live on it for almost 2 years now. We know it. We like it. We love it. These are still new strategies. So we're going to be making some changes, but they're now widely available. They've been kicking ass. I've made 26% on trend spread from May 1st to July 1st. Now, last week, I came back down to reality a little bit like a lot of other people with the trend change midweek, but that's the update. So go into your PeakBot account. For any new subscriber, anybody who's not already a paying subscriber to PeakBot, this is your option now. You will have access to all 3 bots, and this is our pricing. So I'll put it in the chat. Maybe we'll throw it on the screen. Just go to usepeakbot.com is our website, or peakbot.com is our app. Okay, either one. We'll give you some more updates on that as we go. But check it out, and if there's questions, let us know.
Cool. Thanks, Dillon. And then, of course, the website is now updated. It's got we have trend spread on here in closed beta. That'll be updated to open beta today. And then you can find all of the details, the overview, entry and exit details, what we're doing to determine the trend, what happens with assignments. This is, this strategy is not meant for assignments. Assignments can happen. If assignments do happen, it's your responsibility. As of right now, we are building in a feature whereby if you do get assigned shares, the bot will just sell those out for you. So you don't have to worry about that. And then we, of course, have your cash and broker requirements here in order to be able to trade that strategy. Same with the wheel. We actually have a nice video on the wheel. And again, we've got entry exit details, assignment details, requirements, an example trade. And then I know this was highly anticipated. All the details for the Iron Condor 2.0 are available on the strategies page on usepeakbot.com. So make sure you go there to check it all out. And yeah, Dillon, I'm excited that everybody now has access to trade every bot.
Yep.
It's going to help diversify. And I think it's important to note as well, this isn't the wheel. These aren't the wheel strategies in the sense of we're going to be trading 2, 3, 4 contracts per week, right? These strategies are going to trade a lot, like the Iron Condor strategy. When you open up one Condor, that's 4 contracts. When you open and close it, that's 8 contracts. So if you're trading with a Schwab or a Tasty Trade or Fidelity, you're getting whacked for sometimes up to 65 cents per contract per trade. So on a Condor, if you're paying 65 cents per trade, I think the total fees add up to like $5 for an opening and closing a Condor. So, of course, we love to plug Tradier Pro. I use Tradier Pro. Dillon uses Tradier Pro. I actually recently moved my retirement account to a Tradier Pro account. For $10 a month, and you could use this link below, usepeakbot.com/trader to sign up. You'll get some benefits in terms of, during assignments, paying less fees and so on. But it just makes sense. Dillon and I will be reviewing our personal trade results tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. So join us for that. But we'll show, I'm just going to look at my numbers real quick. Last week, I saved about 100 and no, it was more than that. Yeah, something's going on with
you're typically saving a couple $100 a week. You're pretty active.
Yeah. Oh, I missed a sell. I saved $249.60 last week.
Go get yourself
that's because I'm trading 3 Condors on the Qs. I'm trading 3 Condors on SPY every day. And then I traded on this trend spread strategy. I traded about.
Why don't you show us
48 spreads? No, that's tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
That's
Tune in tomorrow. Sorry.
So I saved $250 last week being on Tradier Pro. It pays for itself in a week. It's crazy. I don't know.
It pays for itself in a day.
Yeah, in a day. Well, if you're trading at the same volumes that we're trading with, yeah.
And how much capital are you typically trading with per week?
15 to 20,000.
That's not crazy. A lot of people, a lot of our subscribers have that much.
Yeah.
Let alone people with $100,000, a couple $100,000, automating. They're talking thousands of dollars a week in fees. We do have a question that I want to get to before this person maybe goes away because we haven't answered it. I can't tell exactly when this came in. But we had somebody in the chat. Maybe we can throw it up on screen. Their name is nobody. At whoever 1010 asks, what about Canadians who can't be on the automated trades? Great question, nobody. I don't know how great this answer is going to be for you, but there's solutions. First off, you can't automate your trades with PeakBot in Canada, unfortunately, yet. The reason is because our broker partners are not available in Canada just yet. We are working on some relationships with additional brokerages that hopefully will become available there. Interactive Brokers being one of them. We don't need to get into all the details there, but we are working on that. As soon as we're integrated with a broker in Canada, you will be able to automate our strategies. However, you can utilize our alerts service. Get used to it. See if you love what we're doing here. If you do, fantastic. Okay. The beautiful thing about the strategies in which we're automating, yes, the alerts, it's not as advanced as the automated trades. There's obviously the perks of automating this, saving time, eliminating emotion, not having to enter the trades yourself. But the wheel, the trend spread strategy, it's different with the iron condor. That's entering every day. Okay, so that there is some work required there. But for the trend spread or the wheel, you could take 5-10 minutes a week and set up your trades with alerts. Okay, that's all it takes. Take a look at our watch list. All right, it's $5 a week. All right, for our alert service. We're sending you daily texts and emails with the top trade ideas and linking you directly to our watch list that's updating every 5 minutes, showing you all the information that we reviewed earlier in the show. You make your pick. You open up your broker, whichever one you're using. Maybe it is IBKR, maybe it's another one, and you can go and place that trade. All right, it's not going to take a lot of time for you to get this going consistently, and you'll find your routine. You'll block your 5 to 10, 20 minutes aside every week to get your trades entered. We enter most of our contracts enter between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so I don't know where you are in Canada. It could be any time. Yeah, hopefully that answers your question. In Canada, we have plans to be available there on the automated side of things, but you can utilize our alert service. Again, just go to alerts.usepeakbot.com, $5 a week, getting daily alerts. It's the same exact strategy. The only difference is you're having to place it yourself manually. Anything I missed there, Ben?
No, I think we're good. We've got 15 minutes to the bell. So
cool. So then maybe tomorrow we could take a closer look. We did say we were going to review our new strategies. We kind of ran out of time here. We don't want to bore you guys with all that. But tomorrow we'll take a look at our trades, our results. I'm hoping to get back on the horse here this week. These last 2 weeks were the first bad 2 weeks I've had in months, and beat me up a little bit. But I'm not getting emotional about it. I did go in and update my portfolio, but I'm sticking to my simple process of looking at the watch list, finding what I like, taking a peek at the chart for 30 seconds, and using Tradier's technical analysis tool that gauge. If that confirms what I wanted to see, I activate it. I got to like the stock. I got to feel good about my premium and my risk, and that's it. So, everybody, thank you for tuning in. We had almost 900 viewers today on the show, which is fantastic. Most of them coming from Twitter or X. If you are supporting us on the Tradier Hub or our YouTube channel, thank you. Don't feel like you're alone on an island. And we will be back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. to review our trades. We'll talk about, hopefully we have some trader data for the rest of PeakBot subscribers. We'll see. And we'll go from there. Ben, anything else?
Join me live today at 2. Thomas will be live trading.
Thomas and Ben trading at 2 o'clock Eastern today. My bet now is that you get into a NVIDIA position. Once you see updated info in 15 minutes here, I think you're going to like that based on the support. So best of luck to everybody. Happy trading this week. Thank you so much. We'll see you at the peak. Take care.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.